Hi everyone, it's Eon here, and I just wanted to record really quickly. I feel like all I'm doing right now is recording in general. And anyway, it's Tuesday, February 25th, 10 months till Christmas. And I guess we gotta get our shopping done, right? So I just really wanted to quickly point out a few Kickstarters, a few Frontiers that if I wasn't aware of them, I'd want to be aware of them. And the first one I wanted to go with right here is the Egyptian Temple from Dungeon Blocks. They are doing an early bird for the first 72 hours. I think we're on the about almost the back half of that 72 hours. I think it just launched yesterday, so we're still an early bird. That's $49 right now. If you're interested in these dungeon blocks, Egyptian blocks to look at here. Let me zoom in a little bit more. There is some codes if you've backed them before that are out there, and they do put out there's a PDF that you can get of all of the blocks, and we're not going to look through that, but these are some pretty cool builds. Like, I'll be honest, this isn't the type of stuff that I was like, man, I really need this in my life. But then you look at the things like, what can you do with this? And it makes you wonder, like, man, maybe I really do need to buy this. So yeah, it's 49 bucks early bird right now. Definitely, if you're going to get it, now's the time to get it. It is a little bit different with a Frontier, because it's not like Kickstarter where if you decide you don't want it before the campaign's over, you can cancel. With Frontiers, they're going to go ahead and take your money. So just be aware of that, of course. I think I mentioned this one already, but White Angel Miniatures is doing the end of the Dark Elves. They are at 1,700 bucks with 68 Pioneers. Only a couple of days left. $25. So if you have an interest in Dark Elves, these can be, of course, proxies for lots of other systems. They can also be a brand new army for you. So if you want to play games, you play in Dark Elves, Chaos Elves, that kind of thing. I don't know if anybody calls them Chaos Elves, but that's what you see there. All right. I did want to mention this one. I left this one out of the video I recorded at the end of last week and put up over the weekend. This is by Titan Forge Miniatures. And I don't know, to me, they didn't really advertise this very big, but they're doing this Giant Hunters Tides of Terror adventure. So it's definitely more scaled for somebody who wants a D&D adventure. But these are some pretty cool giants. They do have a nautical theme. So these might go along with like Archvillain Games' new thing, Void Sea. Maybe. I don't know. But you can see, I mean, that's a huge giant compared to like a regular miniature. What is he, 9 inches tall? And just about as wide, if not wider. That's a big boy. That's a huge guy. So 23 centimeters is what they say here. They're using metric. And, $59 that you see here for the different adventurers and so forth. So I'm really surprised. I kind of missed out on this one to a great extent. The early bird has ended at $19, but there's the Tides of Terror reward for $19, which doesn't include all of these extra miniatures, unfortunately, but it does include some pretty cool giants. So unfortunately, I missed out on that one, and I should have mentioned it a long time ago. I've already mentioned Cornelia's Fantastic Creatures in some of the videos that I do. Cast and Play was the one where I saw this mentioned. So I kind of like the idea of fantasy critters. So I went ahead and notified myself on my personal account, and get notified. You're going to get an email or two. You might even get a coupon code to save a little bit of money on it, depending. I don't know if they're going to do that or not. I don't see it mentioned right here, but sometimes they do that. And you get a couple of free miniatures. Even if you never print them, they're in the library. It's an option. White Angel has Dwarfs Part 2, I think is what they're calling it. It's the second thing of dwarves, apparently. So these are some very nice dwarves. I am rarely disappointed in dwarves by most creators, whether that's Beholder Miniatures, whether that's Gammick, whether that's Hayland's Miniatures, whether that's White Angel. A lot of people do really good dwarves. Maybe I'm just a little partial to dwarves. I don't know. But I had to go add this one to get notified on my personal list because I want to keep my eye on this one. So, I like it. It says, I said I was going to have the best dwarf army, and even though I've already achieved it with your help, it has not ended here. So, yeah, go check it out. Let's look at a few Kickstarters real quick. I'm probably not going to add music to this. I'm probably going to upload this raw. I usually like to have music in the background just to kind of deal with the awkward silences as I speak. This one's only got a few more days left. It's by Wildform. It's WallWorkshop, the low-profile hobby painters organizer. Beetle in a Discord, I think, mentioned that this was actually compatible. Yeah, it actually says right there on it, compatible with the Paint Pal Studio, which I think was done by Corvus, if I remember correctly. So if you want to put your paint brushes up, your paints, you kind of want to just be able to utilize the wall space a little bit better. And this is compatible with the Paint Pal system. And you know what? The early bird is still available. There's still 129 slots at $19. And I'm pretty sure I did the Paint Pal. So that actually makes me do a second look at this. Maybe I'll back this. I haven't really decided yet. The problem is, if you're anything like me, money's always an issue, but it's also space. Space is becoming an issue. Speaking of space, I had to go in and back DakkaDakka Store has launched the Millennium Wars Volume 2, Forgeborn and Blessed one. The early bird is still on, $89 for the all-in. And then, wow, that's featured. I don't really know what that means. But that's the base set, all the unlocked milestones, and all the paid add-ons. The early bird, which is what I actually backed, is $39. A little pricey, but about 2 or 3 months worth of a Patreon. And you get 2 full armies, I believe, the Forgeborn and the Blessed ones. Over 250 STLs, 2 factions. So $20 a faction is, in my opinion, not really unreasonable. A lot of creators, when they do their rotations, they'll spend 3 or 4 months at $10 a month rotating through a faction. So you can see some of the painted miniatures here. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. There's a balance of zooming in too much and not enough here. They give you a compendium. That's awesome. There's the Forge of Souls. So there's some cool artwork along with these painted miniatures. There's also a free STL. If you subscribe to their Discord, you get this model. So there's a free kind of chaotic looking guy. There's the Forgeborn. There's the Blessed ones. There's a chart. I always like charts like this that tell you, hey, here's the price and here's what you're going to get. So it looks like the big difference between the early bird and the early bird all in is you get the add-ons. So that's basically the first campaign full set. So for $50 more, which is only $10 more really than the price of it, so it's just a little bit more than double the price, you get the original campaign set as well. I need to double check and see if I did the original campaign set. I can't remember if I did or not, but this would be a good time to do that. So here's the Forgeborn, just to kind of give you an idea. I mean, DakkaDakka does great stuff. They really do. These are nice looking miniatures. I know I'm a little biased because of the paint job, meaning, well, jaded. I say biased as if I'm the one that did that. Of course I didn't. But you just looking at this, you see in the paint job, you're able to see what you can get out of these miniatures. I love the paint job here. I like the Forge Father figure. He's a nice looking mini. It's a great paint job as well. I'm getting kind of Lex Luthor vibes. When Lex Luthor's in that huge, kryptonite anti-Superman suit. And then a red cape, that could be like Superman to some extent too. There's Magma Dread, so there's a Walker. For the Blessed ones, we have some Assault Troopers, Assault Squad, right? Yeah, with the jetpacks is usually what you hear. There's Blessed Tordrek. Okay, so he's part of the Blessed ones. So maybe not... Are these Chaos? I'm not familiar with the factions. Here we have an Apostle character. Demi-Angel. Some very nice minis. We have a Walker Relic Dread. And some neutral units. Princeps Cohort Edition. So I guess these are ones that you can apply these to either army as you wish. These are test printed. They show you some painted minis. There's a video put out by The Ultimate Guide to Painting Salamanders by Flash and Badger Painting. I'm not familiar with that channel. They show you some paint jobs that some people have done. They've got some stretch goals that are still locked, add-ons, objective markers, some more open heads, decor bits, terrain, Black Lions full set, Noctis Horrors full set. So I'm guessing these are all the paid add-ons that you get if you have any interest in doing that, and the neutral units from the full set, from the first set. And these will be fulfilled by My Mini Factory, which to me, sometimes I have backed a Kickstarter or not based around will it be fulfilled on My Mini Factory, because I don't want to have to go download your files and then worry that I forgot to download your files and then come back and look a few years later and I can't download your stuff and then I can't get in touch with you. This one popped on my screen real quick and I wanted to look at it. This is from Kev Adams. That name sounds familiar. Goblins Wave 2, and I'm not sure if these are STLs. I don't think they are. I think they're actual miniatures. Early bird, all the Runtlings, so about 21 bucks. I can't remember. I don't know if these are STL or not. Rustlings. Yeah, I don't think these are the files. I think these are for actual delivered miniatures. So very old school style looking. Kind of a Ral Partha early Games Workshop style to them. They have a lot of character. You know, he's got a frog, he's got a mug on his head, a net. You know, it takes two of them to hold the sword. So, I don't know. I thought it was cool. Just wanted to mention it real quick. Wastelands Wars I. I saw this image and I wanted to look at it. Wasteland Forge apparently has done too. So if you have like a Borderlands sort of interest, this looked like it was just worth to take a moment to look at. I haven't really looked at this. You can get one mini for $7. And these are STL files. And you can get the early one for $20. About $20 USD. Very high detailed miniatures. Hyenas and flamethrowers and all kinds of stuff here. And then they have some stretch goals as well. Well, we see the pyramid. I don't know about y'all, but when I see the pyramid like that, I kind of think Trench Crusade. Okay, we got some nice safe for work miniatures that they'll be putting out. They've got it safe for work on here. Yeah, so they've got some more minis coming out as well. Hayland Terrain, whom I have backed before, they do really good work. They've already raised $600. I think they just launched like yesterday. Urban Ruin and Decay. Their main pledge is about $38, which I felt was a bit pricey, I'll admit, because I really don't need an infested supermarket, infested living room, bedroom. So they have a lot of infested things. I don't know if maybe you're playing a campaign of Stranger Things and you're in the Upside Down. This would probably fit very well for something like that. I don't really need infested cars. These are cool, but they're just, I'm sorry, Hayland, for me, for my purpose, they're not very useful. And I think what this is kind of like, looks like Zombicide of sorts. Really cool miniatures, very unique miniatures. And I feel like we've almost become overly saturated in this market because it's almost like, oh, look, it's another set of dungeon tiles. I love me some dungeon tiles, don't get me wrong, but there's so much. So this was the last page I wanted to look at real quick. So, I mean, you can always go to Kickstarter, and I did Show Me 3D Printing, Sorted on Earth by Magic. Let's do by popularity. And so, apparently, customizable board game accessories. So, this is a pretty generic one, 30 days left. This must have just backed. Let me come back to that real quick. Medusa's First Date, Guardian Sisters 2, Plica 1, the laptop 3D printer. Okay. Foldable, portable, battery-powered 3D printer. Okay. Heartbreakers, STL pinups. You see a lot of adult-style 3D prints on here, like Waifu Fantasy as well. Final Confrontation, I thought was really cool. That's fixing to end one day. Very nice render, but again, not something I really needed, so I didn't back it. Valkyrie Watch, so if you're into figures or figurines, these are 75mm scale, so a little bit bigger more for painting. Imperial Cannon and Mortar, Crimson Curse, Pirate Fairies. That's an interesting theme. Love Angel, again, you've got your kind of pinup models. There's the Tokugawa Ashigaru that we looked at in the previous video. There's Thalendra, the Dragon Slayer by Mad Mara Miniatures. It's a really nice mini. It's only €5. So 29 days left. I think this just launched. Worth taking a look at if you like, these types of, if you like a diorama, it's a great mini. One for All, Seiya, Silent Arrow, obviously inspired by Zelda, or Zelda, I guess, Link. Sorry, I had to pause there. I had to sneeze. So if it jumps kind of weird, that's why. Hellflame Chasm, 3D printable train. That looks like some pretty cool stuff. Elder Forge, that sounds familiar. Timber Tides, looks pretty cool by Tainted Saint Miniatures. Project Mobius had Chison, this kind of cyberpunk tower. This has got a day left. I like Project Mobius's stuff. Again, it was just a little bit too pricey for something that I don't know that I really needed. There's some nice 3D printing buildings if you need them. There's some country ladies. The Swordsmith. 3 hours left. So by the time I upload this, it'll be useless. But yeah, there's Join or Die, World War II. Coach from Family of Gamers said that he's backed some other stuff by them, and they do some good work. Again, not something I personally have use for, but it's out there. Japanese architecture. I can't speak tonight, sorry. Forest chess set. There's the Dogs, Volume 1 that we looked at. There's so much stuff to look at here. Brinesport, that actually looks... The render there looks pretty cool, but again, I don't know what it is. There's Waifumon, so if you have two loves, Backpack Vixen by Nomad Sculpts, that lives in an hour, in a day rather. Nico Clubhouse is 7 days. Very nice. Again, something I just don't have a use for, and I hate to say that. There's STL Bits, almost 5,000% funded. I don't know why it's so down on this list. I guess because most of us that are going to back it have already backed it. He's not getting a whole lot of new backers. I do know he's looking for 1,001 backers. I don't think he's quite there yet. There's the pinup models. There's lots of stuff here. Do-it-yourself 3D printer tower enclosure kit. It's impressive. 3 Prusas on top of each other there. And we can just kind of keep scrolling. I feel like I'm just wasting time here. There's Dino World Volume 7. I believe I'm backing that. I may or may not. I can't remember. I've backed them before. I like these Little Devils. That looks very familiar. That looks very familiar. The renders and all there. Wisp Moon Hollow. Very nice looking set. That's just about to end. There's a lot of stuff here that you can always look at. I always like backing 3DP4U. These are usually a pretty decent deal as well. So let's look at that. Let me go all the way back up here to the top real quick. I hate when I highlight that, sorry. I did want to check this out because if this is the most popular... Oh wow, it says 8,000 projects. I just wanted to see what the price point was. So about $25, $27. 25 euros, $27. 45 backers. And then you have some... merchant options as well. So you are able to kind of customize card decks as needed, as well as tokens and so forth. This is probably useful. I don't know how easy it is to resize these, but it's pretty cool that you can. So I don't think I need any 6-sided dice from that. Brinesport, I just wanted to see what this actually looks like, because sometimes I feel like people are putting out an actual render here. And I apologize, I'm just kind of train of thought in here. Only the NPCs. I thought about going live and doing this, but I don't go live very often, and I didn't want to get anybody excited with me actually doing something useful. $63. That's pretty pricey. Those are some nice looking miniatures, or houses, don't get me wrong, but yeah, not for that price point. And then here's 3DP4U. Again, I think I've backed this one because there is a $1 that you can get, and the all-in is 18 bucks. So I think with the $1 you get like one of these. I don't think you get all of them. Yeah, I think you get just the Weatherstorm Tower. But down here you can get all of the models. So you get the Weatherstorm Tower. You get the Pigeon Roost Post Office. And you have the beer brewery. And I think a previous project, I think it was 3DP4U, did a pumpkin house or pumpkin cottage, like a little pumpkin farm cottage. And I was able to print that out on my Bamboo P1S, and it came out pretty nice. It was 2 pieces, the house and the roof, and it came out pretty nice. I've thought about putting that on stream and actually trying to, on the video, and actually trying to make myself paint it. But I want to just get some like regular acrylic stuff. Yeah, so there's set 1, there's set 2, there's set 3. This right here. Yeah, this. I've printed this off. It came out really nice. It's not huge. It's a decent little size. Even the tree printed. I think Bamboo Slicer kind of argued, was like, hey, it's not going to fit, and you're going to have overhanging supports. And you know what? It was fine. It worked. So anyway, I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to upload this video real quick. I don't even know if I'm going to bother with a thumbnail for it, because I suck at thumbnails for these Kickstarter browsing. I call these an impromptu video where I'm just browsing over the internet. If I took the time to pull images, put them in, and really talk about them, it's not going to help. I'll try to put this together real quick. It's getting late, y'all, and this week is crazy. I might be posting a few videos this week. I've still got another idea for one more video. And as I speak, as I'm recording this, I'm uploading the Sci-Fi Complete Overview, which is mostly just audio. I do appreciate, if you're watching this far, thank you for those of y'all that tell me you actually enjoy my voiceovers. I'm not an expert on this. I am not a 3D printing king or amazing person. I have been good at buying 3D files for a long time. My digital pile of shame is a thing to be rivaled. And I know others out there have much bigger 3D printing piles of shame than I do. But, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thank you for the votes of confidence. And hope you enjoy. And hopefully your wallets aren't too hot after watching this.